What's up, everybody? My name is Juwan Rohan, and this is the Misguided Podcast, where we intend to guide you to a better future. I'm sitting here with Bree, sports anchor out in Colorado Springs. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing this morning?
I am good. I took my dog on a walk this morning. I have no sleep. I was up all night, so just trying to get the morning started, but it's going.
That
It's
we've
going.
had the same start then. I just took my dog and I'm
Yeah.
sleepy. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. It's crazy. But I just want to thank you for coming up on here. I'm super excited. You're the first anchor that I've had on here. I try to get a variety of people because I don't want to just target one group. Everyone has different day jobs and different stuff, and they're all working to build wealth, right? So I appreciate you coming up on here and taking the time out.
No problem.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and dive into your story. Where are you from?
So I'm originally from Hayward, California, Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Moved out of the Bay to go to school in Atlanta on a volleyball scholarship. And it just kind of took off from there is when I went as a business management major, wanted to be a big time sports agent, and then kind of made my way to the mass media department, met a guy who was the 11 Alive anchor at the time, but he taught my 8 o'clock broadcasting class. And I think that's the moral of my story. It was someone who already made it telling me that I can make it. And that's a big deal, especially going to HBCU. I'm a first generation graduate, all that good stuff. So that's really how it started for me, was meeting him.
Okay. What HBCU? Can you repeat that again? The
Atlanta, right here.
Oh, okay, nice. I see. That's the big one right there. Look at you. Uh, that's cool. So shit, you're from Hayward. I didn't know that. I'm from Hayward. So what elementary school and what high school you went to?
So I was born in Hayward, and my parents split up when I was like 3. So I kind of went back and forth. Hayward, Newark. That's where my mom and dad,
Okay.
Newark Memorial. That's where they met.
Uh-huh.
So I went to music school. It was my elementary school. And then my mom bought a house in Tracy, California. So I
Okay.
went to high school in Tracy, and my dad stayed in the Bay. So I just kind of went back and forth.
Nice.
So yeah.
I kind of did the same thing. I was born in Hayward. I stayed there until I was about 10.
Yeah.
So I went to elementary there, and then I moved to Antioch for like 2 years, and then I went to Berkeley and in 6th grade. So I really say I'm like from Berkeley because that's where a lot of my development happened. But definitely, I still rep Hayward. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah.
Everybody from when I grew up, like friends, family, they all migrated.
Yeah.
Stuff. It's just so much cheaper.
So much, but the Hayward property right now is crazy. Like if your parents still have that Hayward property or the Newark is just, it's insane out there. I'm a realtor out here, so I keep an eye on things like that.
You know all about that. Yep.
It's
insane. Yeah, my parents' house now that they bought 5 years ago is worth over $1 million. Like
easily, and they could probably get it for closer to $2 million today, to be honest. That's cool. Cool. So you go to Clark University, and you meet this professor or someone who kind of stirred you in the right direction. Did you always like want to do news anchor, sports anchor type stuff? Like, was this a dream growing up as a little girl or anything?
To be honest, I was kind of like a lot of people. I changed my mind. Like I think when I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to go to law school. And then I was a dual athlete in college, played volleyball and softball. And I was like, I can't see myself giving up sports. Like I want to be a sports agent. And then that's when I maneuvered to mass media. It was an internship that I had at WSB TV in Atlanta. It's like a top 10 market, it's like the people who have literally made it. And just being in a newsroom, it's so chaotic. They got like 2 helicopters in that station when things go off, and just to like be in that like aura. And I'm very like I have to be busy. I'm not like a 9 to 5 sit at the desk type of person at all. Like I gotta be doing stuff, and I really like the environment. And a lot of people don't know, getting into the business, a lot of people start in news to get into sports. That's just how it goes. For every sports job, there's 7 more news jobs.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, I only had one internship because I was always on the road playing. And that was one thing, if I could go back, was really push those internships because they do help. That's where I got all of my real hands-on experience. And that's what landed me my first on-air gig as a news reporter / anchor.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started for me.
So how long were you in Atlanta for doing that?
So I transferred there from Modesto Junior College, 2014. So I was there for 2 years.
Okay.
And that was kind of another reason why I chose mass media. For business, I would have had to take more courses.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have been, I was already, I think, 21 when I transferred. I'm like, I'm not trying to be the old chick on the volleyball. I did have an extra year eligibility because I had torn my ACL. But I just wanted to start my career. Like, I wanted to get out. Yeah, so I was like, well, mass media said I could be done in 2. So that's honestly what took me to the department. And then when I started to meet the right people, it just kind of all aligned for me
Gotcha.
that way. Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
2016.
Oh, same. Cool. Well, that's cool. So what'd you do after Atlanta? What was next for you?
So right away, I actually stayed in Atlanta for about a year, was getting my master's online.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I think there was 4 of us at the internship. It was like a tight group. And I just saw everyone start to land TV jobs, right? And I'm sitting at home, I'm serving at this fine dining restaurant. I'm working 2-3 jobs at this hotel, at a local club. Like I'm everywhere, right? And then I was just like, I work hard. I can manage school and an on-air job. So that's what I started to apply after about a year after school. Anywhere, literally anywhere. I didn't care.
You was gonna go to the snow and everything, huh?
I just wanted, because a lot of my, I didn't have a sports reel because my internship was news. So that was already working against me. So I think I had Missouri looking at me but it was a part-time job. I got bills, so I can't move on a part-time job. So I didn't take that. And then, Mississippi was talking to me, but they were dragging the ball. And then West Virginia, literally interviewed me. I came out 2 days later, they offered me the job. And I took it. And I think Mississippi ended up calling me 2 weeks later, my first day of work, hey, are you interested? I'm like, yo, I'm out. I'm already somewhere else. So literally that, people don't know, you don't really choose where you work your first job. It's literally what is available and
to get that experience.
It is not at all where you want. And some people praise it to them who stick it out and really end up close to home or something like that. But I was not waiting anymore. So
it's kind of like when you become a doctor and you have your residency. My friend's going through that right now. He's scheduled to get his he sent out 100 letters and they find out in March, but then he moves in June. So that gives a month to just move, and he doesn't know where he's moving.
Time. You have
it's just that's crazy.
They don't care.
They just they just want you to break your lease, huh? What if you got a lease?
Oh, they don't. I'm telling you, I've known people even out here in my current station. So Denver's an hour away, but still, you still got to move, pick up your life. They asked. She stopped Thursday with us, and then started another job Saturday. So she had 2 days. I'm not playing.
Jesus.
They're it's just an hour away. I'm like, poor girl.
How often are you in Denver? For events?
Honestly, football season, I'm out there pretty often because we go to their Wednesday practice and then we go to every home game. Me and my sports director, we rotate on that, but then we also cover the Avs. So I had to learn hockey when I got here. I didn't know a thing about hockey.
How crazy is hockey though? It's actually really cool. Right?
No, it is. And I'm very I'm like, you could just fight.
You can just literally fight on ice. It's like Disney on ice.
One of our star players, they just broke his nose, no big deal the other day. And I'm just like, what? But it's definitely a good sports market, at least for what I'm doing. The only thing that's really different from coming from the South is high school football. It's not as...
Oh, there ain't no football in Colorado Springs at all.
I miss that. But I mean, when it comes to pro sports. Like I said, I have the Avs, the Nuggets when I got here for the playoffs, and then Broncos playoffs, but I get to cover them. So yeah, it's definitely a good opportunity to be it, but it didn't happen overnight. Like, I took 2 news jobs before I got here. So
Yeah. That makes sense. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. That's the whole point of the journey, right? Is learning along it, right? You're not gonna know everything up front. And what I try to tell people is like there comes a certain point in your life where you can do so much studying, right? You can study how to be a news anchor or sports anchor, do all this and listen to people, but you won't actually know what you're doing until you're actually doing it, right? And you got to start. And a lot of people are scared to take that first step. So I guess my next question for you would be like, that first step when you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go anywhere, I just need this. What kind of motivated you to get into that? Like, can you go into more like motivation side?
So everyone's different. And like I said, like one of my really good friends, she got a job in, I'm trying to think, it's like an hour away from Georgia. So not a really big move, not very scary. Same with another one, like Macon, like small markets in Georgia where you're still an hour from home. I decided West Virginia was the purpose or the right place for me, honestly. I was just hungry for it. And I understood what I would have to do to get to sports. Like all my mentors who have been in the game were like, look, you're going to be in a small market. You're not going to make any money. You're going to struggle, but you just get the experience. That was my advice. And I took it and I ran with it. They're like, you don't have any kids. You're not married. This is the time. Just go. And that's what I did. And I don't regret it at all. And some of the people I've met there are now in top markets, and they're like, hey, if you ever want to come to Atlanta, like I'll throw your name in a hat, no problem, because I know you work hard. And that's how the game goes. You like some of the people I started with are in top 10 markets.
Yeah. It's just, hey, it really is who you know, not what you know. How long you been in Colorado Springs?
I got here in April, so
Oh, you fresh. Yeah, you fresh. How long you plan on staying?
So technically I signed a 3-year contract. So what that means for me, if I wanted to go to another, I'm owned by a certain company. So if we have about 60 stations in the US, so if I see an opportunity, then I could like technically transfer. But I think I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I want to see what else is out there after this. Like, not necessarily step away from the business, but focusing on working for like a regional sports network or a team in-house media, or a university. Like, kind of see what else is out there, because this is my 3rd stop, and I know I want to keep doing sports, and with local news, it's kind of like you got to do both. There's a hurricane, you're gonna go do hurricane coverage. I did all that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, how are you transitioning into Colorado Springs from Hayward to Atlanta, obviously, and then to West Virginia? But those are like, you're everywhere. How's that? I mean, Colorado Springs is so conservative.
Well, so I was West Virginia, and then I actually went to Louisiana after that, and that was for a sports/news job. So I was doing news twice a week, sports the rest. So that's
where in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's how I got into the sports reel, because like I said, I took West Virginia because I didn't have a sports reel. So that's what I worked on in West Virginia, just following the weekend guy around. Holidays, no one wants to work, so I was like, oh, I'll do it. So it looked like I did sports the whole time in West Virginia, and that's how I got the job in Lafayette. And then from there to here, totally different. From the food to the people, the coverage. Even the Pelicans, we didn't cover them hard. Like, when I got there, my boss's philosophy, like, this is a football state, unless it's a really big game, we're not going to be covering. And New Orleans was 2 hours away, so like we would make the trip for Saints, but we wouldn't make the trip for Pelicans unless it was like a big game. So that's like the biggest difference here. Especially like high school hockey, never covered that before.
Yeah. High school hockey big there too. That's crazy.
Cross, never covered it until here. So it's things like that.
Do you go to the colleges and cover any of the sports or no?
Air Force is our main thing. That was also new, like going from LSU to Air Force, totally different atmosphere, but it's so cool. It really is, like, it's a different experience all the way. But yeah, they're our main college. I'll throw in like a CU Buff type of highlight every now and then. They struggled this year in football. Those were hard to run. But yeah, like we'll give them some highlight if there's a big game, or if they were to make it, you know, to the finals or something, we would go out there. But Air Force is pretty much our main college besides our pro teams.
Yeah, nice. Cool. So it seems like you kind of have like the plan of kind of what you want to do next, as you talked about previously, of like the regions and or either getting into like a university position. How do you, a lot of people have struggles prioritizing their time. So how do you kind of prioritize your goals? So if you could give us like a top 3 of what your priorities are as far as just goal setting. We're going into 2022. This is the first month. A lot of people set goals and then a month off, they fall off. So if you could give any advice on that.
That's true. And I'm honestly probably the worst person when it comes to organization. And I actually have a really cool talent coach that I just started to work with again. And she was like, let's get organized. Like, let's level up this year. Like, you know, people are looking to hire people to look like you. And this is
facts.
Yeah. So I was like, she's right. And that's when I was like, okay, like she's not cheap. Okay. She's not cheap. So she's like, if you can figure it out, because, you know, if you have a pair of jeans that are on sale that you want to buy, you're going to do it. If you want to go get sushi with your friends, you're going to figure out how to do it. And like, it kind of stuck with me. Like, you know, like we'll be like, oh, I need to do this and do that. But we just kind of throw money to things that aren't, you know, important or materialistic things. So now I'm sitting back like, okay, I'm going to invest in myself this year, like 110%. So that's what I'm focusing on.
Okay.
In getting better. And I know it's hard to in some places, because a lot of time when you're in these markets, the job is to be on air and just, you know, just make it on air.
Survive.
But now, like, basically, but I want to, like, you know, get better, get my writing better, get, you know, my confidence up, like everything I need to do to get to the regional network. Like you can't be complacent. You can't say, oh, I want to do network or I want to do regional and keep providing the same work. So that's my biggest priority. Personal and some personal goals, you know, in the next 3 years, I want to buy a house. You know, I'm tired of moving every 2 years. You know, so, and before I leave here, I'm actually working on my PhD right now. So I'm like, I think I'm like 24 credits into a 60 credit program. So I'm like
almost halfway.
30th birthday, I want my PhD in my hand. So those are my goals. Like now it's time, you know, I got to catch up on the courses. So I'm on track to finish before I leave Colorado. But really, like, it's like, okay, I'm in Colorado. Do I love it? But I have a great opportunity. So I might as well enjoy where I'm at, make the best of it, and hit those goals while I'm here.
Yeah. Facts. No. I agree. And that's good that you're starting to think about that, right? Like, obviously it took you a while to get to that point, but the training coach is working and you're starting to, like, you know, prioritize yourself first. Like, hey, I need to, you know, start saving money or invest in myself, whether it's putting money towards a training coach, a therapist, I don't know if they do they have like classes where you can kind of like practice being a sports anchor, like almost like improv.
There's so much out there now. Like, yeah, honestly, there's people who do like what we're doing right now, but maybe like
role play.
Say like, I know like a national anchor for CBS. So her story is amazing. She was like a high school dropout, and then now she's working for CBS National. And she's like, brings on someone just like you do, you know, every week. And she has a bunch of people, they pay like, I don't know, $30 a month. And now they're listening to, like, you know, her national news friends or people. So she does that. And that's a great, like, you know, there's probably like 30, 40 people who jump on, and she's making $30 a month.
I was gonna say, you should. Have you thought about like creating your own platform? Like, are you active on TikTok?
Honestly, like I made one like a month ago. And I'll because I know a lot of the roles that I want, and that was another thing. And one of the roles that I want is like a digital host, and I know a lot of that is social media content / digital host. So I have to like familiarize myself with those kind of things now. And I'm probably like Instagram, Twitter. That I mean, those are where our audience are. So like TikTok, I'm like, okay, I feel like the grandma, like, hey, teach me how to TikTok, like trying to put
Hey, you gotta learn it, because that's part. I actually seen a lot of news anchor people on TikTok, like, and they'll just demonstrate their skill, or they'll do a little funny video, or really, I mean, for the girls, you just show yourself, right? Like, but like, I've seen a lot of the videos blow up, and then that gets their engagement. Now you got people looking at you, so you got to work on that like 100%. What I've been right now, I'm on like I'm gonna try and keep it the whole year, but what I'm doing is this year is I'm posting like 3 to 5 videos a day. And I've already in like a week gained like 80 followers just from that 3 to 5 videos. Like, you got to stay consistent, because last year and the year before that, what I was doing, I just post a video. If it doesn't go viral, it doesn't go viral. But like, that's not how the algorithm works. It's like, no, you got to pick up on your own viralness. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to keep being persistent, because that one video, I like in the last week, I've had like 3 videos reach like 2,000 to 4,000, right? And then another video reached like 7 views. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? You just got to be consistent. Like,
yeah, well, that makes sense. And that was some advice that another girl who she was working for Boston Celtics, and then she kind of got into like a different type of career path, but still doing social media content. She was like, that's my personal goal this year. Like, I got to push the content. Like, they love it, they eat it up, and it helps when you go in and pitch like, hey, look at all these, and I'm like, oh, that's smart. Like, I guess, like, for me, like, I work 2 to 11, I go to school, and I'm a substitute teacher on the side. And it's like, when do I have time?
But that's what you could be vlogging though. That's what you could be telling your story, because what you're in the TV world. So you're on camera, and what do people look for on camera, right? Like, how you look, like, let's just be honest, how you look, but also how you present yourself. And so, like, in the model industry, I know from the model industry that they automatically, before they even look at you, they look at how many followers you got, right? How much engagement, what can you bring to the table? So if you are already doing this stuff on camera when you're not on camera, right? And then you're presenting it to them when you want to go build your own stuff or whatever. Or like, I even think like if you created your own community, like that person you were talking about, just even all it takes is 10 to 20 people to just be a subscriber, right? And kind of get you going. I think that would be so cool. Like, I'd suggest doing, very popular trend right now is the news anchors, where they have like the script that's going hella fast, and all the news people have to try and read it. Like, you could just have fun with it, even if you can't read it, just like do something funny, right? Like, but that would be good. But also, even like you said, you are super busy, so like maybe even just doing like vlogs of your day, or you changing outfits into, you know what I mean? Like, just those little 5 to 10 minute things, and it could go a long way.
No, and definitely, like, I feel like it's a little thought behind it, because like I have posted stuff and like it got a lot of good, but I'm like, I'm still learning it, so it's not like I like push them out. It takes me a little second to like figure out like what I'm doing. I remember I did one with like Teddy Bridgewater that got a lot of like positive like traction, and it was just like me just joking around, because I don't know if you remember, it was like a game where he like let the man he didn't tackle him at all. He just kind of like walked by him, and it was like went viral. So I was just like making fun, because like we lost like 3-game losing streak, and I was like Team Teddy when he got here, because I covered him in New Orleans. But yeah, no, I definitely want to like find my audience and my my niche.
Yep. And it takes time, but yeah, I would definitely get on it before they change the dope algorithm that they have,
Right. Yeah.
Cool. So I want to move on to the segment where I call Hella Misguided segment, where I ask the same question to each person who comes up here. And that question is, if you were to write a letter to your 18-year-old self, what would a summary of that letter be?
Wow. I would tell myself to, one, don't ever compare your pace to someone else.
Okay.
Um, that would be my number one. Number two would be know your worth. I've been in a situation where, um, yeah, I'll work for that just because I want to be on air or I want to be in sports. I've known so many people in this business where it's like they take a job. We know we're not going to make a ton of money in our first 4 years in the business. It's just not how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But you can negotiate other things. You can get a hair allowance. You can get makeup allowance, clothing allowance, and you don't realize how much that stuff adds up when you're on TV every day. Don't be afraid to say, "Hey, after a year, I want to be able to leave and not pay you guys anything if I get a better opportunity." Or, "Hey, I want you to pay for NABJ every year." You know, that saves you $400 right there. So it's stuff like that.
Wait,
Like,
what is that?
oh, so NABJ is a huge conference. It's actually, so it's for Black journalists.
Okay.
It's not necessarily on air. It really could be, there's writers, producers, there's a lot. I literally recommend anyone from college who's been in the business for 10 years to go to NABJ. It's kind of sucks. Last 2 years have been virtual because of COVID. But the
Mm-hmm.
last one I attended that was in person was in Miami. So I'm talking, there's like 30 booths, 30 to 50 booths out there. Like CBS is out there, NBC is out there, every news network is out there, ESPN. You get to sit down with MLB Network, and you're literally, it's like speed dating, but for jobs. You go in, you look your best.
Yeah.
It's like a week conference.
It's a career. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. It's a career fair, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's like for people who look like me, you know, which is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And they really, like, I know people who went in there and got a job on the spot. I know people who went in there, followed up a week later and had a job. Because you actually get to meet those people in person, and it makes a huge difference. And you make those connections, and you pass out your card, and you know, it's honestly great. And I really hope it comes back.
Oh wow, they got a lot of people going, and it's all over the place. They got like from Spotify to CBS to like
Everyone. And that's what I
Bloomberg.
said.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm your only sports anchor on here, but like, this is for, you know, people who want to work behind the scenes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they would hire them so quick. It's so hard to find people who want to work behind the scenes right now. I'm telling you.
For real, for real. That EDD check is more.
Yeah. Listen, executive producers, they are thriving right now.
Yeah.
They can't keep them right now. So it's, I would like, that would be like my number one suggestion for anyone to go.
Do you know, like, that's good. Like, I would suggest do that stuff young. Like 18, I wish I was going to these conventions and like Afro Tech that's in Oakland every year. Like, I wish I was going to these meetups, right? These real estate investing groups. Like, I wish I was doing that young, because I would be so much further than I am today. But yeah, anybody looking to go to the NABJ, it's in Vegas, August 3rd. Are you going to be going?
This year, probably not. So it's really like, if you have like 2 years in your contract left, they'll be like,
oh yeah.
It's kind of weird. I would probably go next year.
Okay.
I have a year, you know, left in it, and it's like I feel like my tape will be super strong to show at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I probably, because it's not cheap, you know. Just to have that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's 100% worth your time, energy, money. Like, it's so awesome if you've never experienced it. It really is.
Cool. So speaking of cheap, next question is, are you you kind of already answered, are you a big spender or a saver?
I'm one of those people who is like, you know, money, I'll make it back. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was that person. And I think it's because, like, you know, it's just me. Like, if I had like someone I had to support, I know I would be different, but I don't.
Yeah.
I like to travel. I always live far away from friends. I always like catch a quick flight to like Atlanta, go see my friends, or New Orleans, see my other friends there. But that's why I said this year it's got to change, because, like, sis, you're 28 years old. You want to get a house. You know, you're hiring these people to take you to the next level. It's time to, like, you know, kick it in here. So I would say I was, but now I'm trying to tighten up.
Where do you want to get a house?
I'm shooting to go to Georgia or Texas. and stay there. That's my goal. I,
There you go.
obviously Atlanta, I got a lot of connections, but I fell in love with Houston. So if I'm close to there, they're both great sports markets. So
I just opened up an Airbnb out in Houston in November. And that market is crazy. Like the spot is like 15 minutes from downtown, but Houston like nightlife is like, oh my God, it's
I
wild. Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's so like, I don't know, it's like Atlanta, but better. And I
Yeah.
might think that because I already had enough of Atlanta. Like I'm, like I need something new. But I don't know, I love it. And I've been to Dallas, and I was like, oh, it's cool. But it's
Dallas is no.
like
Austin first, and then Houston, and then everywhere else in Texas could suck.
I never did that. I heard good things.
Austin's amazing. But yeah, hey, if you want to buy a house in Houston, let me know, because our brokerage is down there, so I can help you out.
my parents are retiring here soon, so they're like, wherever you go, they want to get a little retirement home and hang out where I'm at.
There you go. Well, let me know. Let me know if they want to move too, because I know they out here. I'll help them.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, no. Houston is really cool. What scared me though when I was in Houston a couple months ago is when we was going to the bars and the clubs and stuff. They don't check you for weapons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not like the city. Like obviously maybe girls don't really get checked that much, but yeah. When you're going to a club in San Francisco back in the day when they had clubs here, they check you down, right? They check for any weapons, but in Houston, I guess they just assume everyone is carrying, which is wild.
Yeah, I guess I got a little clutch. They don't really, but
yeah, it's crazy. I was like, damn. And the funny part is I was the only one in Houston wearing a mask, especially at nighttime. I'm sure everyone was looking at me in the bar like he's from California. Yeah, I was the only one. I swear I couldn't find another person out of thousands.
Yeah, COVID skipped the South in certain areas.
Atlanta too.
Louisiana? What?
Yeah.
I know New Orleans had its thing, but in Lafayette, all the games, kids are out there no shirt on in the student section. I'm like, you know what? All right.
Y'all just forgot. Y'all forgot where we at.
But you said San Francisco. The city nights mean anything to you?
Of course it does. Of course. Yeah, city nights means a lot to me.
I've owned it for many years, so I used to be there.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. When did he stop owning it? I was probably there.
Oh, I was like, we always laugh there was some meme that went viral. It was if you went to city nights, you're immune to COVID.
Yeah. I seen that. The crazy part is even after college, or even during college, when I was old enough to realize that I shouldn't be here, I still wanted to be there.
I know, I just went there obviously because he worked there, and I just going with my friends.
Yeah.
It was just it's a part of the Bay culture. You're gonna.
It is. But you can never go to city nights without witnessing a fight. It's ridiculous.
I know.
It's people literally just go there to fight. It's a brawl. But yeah.
The first time I saw YG perform was city nights.
That actually might have been too. Yeah, that's when Tooted and Booted was a thing. That was long time ago. Wow.
Yeah, they fought at Super Jam, so I that was annoying because I wasn't inside. Yeah, I'm still mad about that.
That's hilarious. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Cool. So, okay, we got the big spender, big saver, big spender transitioning to big saver. So my next question was, I was going to ask, do you invest in anything? So whether it's investing in your next side hustle, whether it's investing, you're going to start saving for a home pretty soon. What about stocks, crypto, anything on the side?
I have done a little research on, crypto and all that kind of stuff, but my main focus right now, so I'm working on opening a online boutique right now.
Okay.
So that's my focus. I do own my condo right now in Colorado.
Hey,
yeah.
Keep it. Don't sell it when you leave.
I know that's what everyone says, but it's these HOA rules. I just won't do it again.
Don't ever do that. Do they have rental restrictions?
Yes and no. There's no cap, but like, so I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a really tight bunch of old people who are just like trying to control like certain blind colors I can't have. I can't have more than one dog. There was an issue with the type of floors that I wanted because I was upstairs, and it was just a mess. And I like I said, like, you know, when you move fast, you kind of have to find somewhere. Everything was like I put in an offer and 15 people put in an offer the same day. So like I got kind of lucky because I felt like if I didn't get this one, I would have just gave up because it was starting to reach past my budget that I wanted, you
Yeah.
know, to go past, because I had to go like 15 over what they were asking to get this place.
Oh, that's nothing. You lucky. That's nothing.
I know. It's been crazy, but like I really like want to get back what I put in plus and then invest this.
You probably already did though. That's the crazy part. Is that 15K is like $10 a month extra, and then with the market right now, and then in June you already made that back, so you don't have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I figure if I can let this sit for 3-4 years, I
Yeah.
can the house that I really really want.
So I asked about the rental stuff because we're in Colorado too, and I just know that market from when I was out there. Like it was super cheap. Houses were super cheap, and then now that's like one of the best markets in America is Colorado Springs specifically. So that's why I said don't sell it. And a lot of people are actually traveling there. So I was wondering if you could throw it up on Airbnb, but you got to check with the HOA because some might not allow Airbnb, but they might allow long-term renting.
Yeah, they won't. I think that's why they worded it the way, like, because when I wanted to rent out my room, it was like I had to rent it out to her the whole place. So they like I think it's 6 months minimum. So they're trying to prevent the air.
So then you when you do move to Texas or whatever, you can do midterm, and you could do like traveling nurses. A lot of traveling nurses out in Colorado Springs, so you could target there, and it's higher cash flow than just a long term.
Yeah, so. That is true. I did have a lot of traveling nurses reach out to me.
Yeah, exactly. See, nice. Hey, if you ever need help, I got you.
Thanks.
Cool. So I mean, we already kind of talked about this next question. We're gonna start wrapping up soon, but I guess my next question was your what's your goal in the next 5 years? So if you could just we already talked about kind of the pipeline of how you're gonna get there. But if you could give just three things of where you see yourself, let's do more than 5 years. Let's do 10 years.
Okay. So for me, definitely the 10 years, why I'm working on my PhD, I want to teach at the college level. So that's like my retirement plan that I'm working on now. Because
what do you want to teach?
Just like a basic broadcasting writing class, or you know what I'm doing, and just helping people. I'd really like to go back to an HBCU if I had the choice, because that's where I started.
Yeah.
And people just need some, you need guidance, and I needed what I got, which is
you heard that? You need guidance on the Misguided Podcast. That's amazing. Look at that.
It's hard, especially in this business. So that's definitely, and like I said, transitioning out of local news, big time. That's definitely my 2.5-year plan. I want to transfer out of local news, level up, get to that regional network, and my last goal would probably have to be probably what we talked about, just owning a home and having some stability. Like, you put in all this work, enjoy it, enjoy it.
I agree. That takes time. No, that takes time and patience is what I'm learning. You got to, and the one thing you can't get back is time. So whoever's listening, don't have these goals without a plan in motion for 5 to 10 years. Like, it takes 5 to 10 years. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to go buy a house, right? Without saving, without getting your credit right? Without partnering or whatever you got to do to get that house, right? You can't just wake up one day and be like, I'm gonna go get it, and then try and put an offer in, and so preparation is key here. But yeah, no, those are great goals. We're gonna go back to it again, but like you saying you want to be a teacher, that's a dope thing, and wanting to give back and stuff, especially in your own community. You really should start like your own. You should start doing that now. Start preparing, because that could be damn near your resume, as we talked about. So whether it's you just taking 2 to 3 kids in college in and showing them the ropes right now, like, you know what I mean? That can be like your little community that you start to build, because in 5 to 10 years, those students could be in a position that could actually help you. They'd be like, oh, yeah, this person helped me, right? Bree helped me. And now I'm working at a big sports anchor, and, I want her to come over here, or something. Like, you just networking. It's networking, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I have been able to be the speaker
Yeah.
at my college. Like, I made some connections, and I did like a unique project before I graduated, where I was talking about Black women in sports broadcasting, and it caught their attention. So I went back as a speaker for them, and I did something with them. And so now it's kind of hard, because they wanted me to teach in the fall. It's a pop-up course, which those didn't exist when I went to school.
Yeah.
But it's like a 1 credit course, and it's basically like 2 hard days, or you can spread it out once a week for how many hours. I'm pitching it as like how to land a job in TV type of thing, because I think that's more intriguing. But it's basically me breaking down with 20 students for a weekend, and like, hey, this is how I did it. How can we help you? And we're just going through like cleaning up some writing, resumes, resources on where to apply, how to network, literally things that I wish I would have had that you can't teach in a book. So they're pop-up courses. Like, I would have definitely taken one back in the day. So
Yeah. I know. I'm starting to see like schools are now implementing financial literacy class. I'm like, yo, where the hell was that at? Or like business classes or stuff. I'm like, man, come on.
I know.
It's
I
all
was like, telling Mom, I said, I haven't done a tooth triangle yet. Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to, like, no one, I don't know how to file my taxes or something I could have used.
Yeah, right. They need that. They need taxes. They need a parenting class. They need a deeper sex class. Like, they need a bunch of different
learning
shit.
more about like 401ks, like stuff.
Just
Learn as you go.
Yeah. You touched on it, but that was gonna be my next question. Before we got 2 more questions. The first one is you kind of touched on it, but being Black in this industry, you don't see a lot of us on TV, right? You don't see a lot of us. So how's that pressure? Is there pressure on that aspect of just being a Black woman in this industry, but also just being a woman in this industry? I mean, like, news and sports, I feel like they're very sexualized. So do you feel any type of pressure in those 2 aspects, or to always look good, right? To always be on camera, right? Always ready.
For me, the industry, like, before I even got to the industry, I felt like being just a female athlete, like, I had a boyfriend in college who got a full ride, didn't make grades, and was still getting his scholarship. Meanwhile, I'm playing 2 sports, making half what he makes. So that's the reality of the business, whether you are an athlete, whether you're in media, or whether you're a professor. Like, one of my best friends as a professor tells me how hard it is to be the only Black woman professor at the university. There's things that come with it. But like I was talking to with my talent coach, now we're starting to get the first female this, the first female that. And now on top of that, we're getting the first Black female that. So we're always last. So yeah, that I wouldn't say it's pressure, but it's knowing that you have to be twice as good as your counterpartner. That's just the world, unfortunately. My talent coach was telling me, I was watching ESPN, and it's like, what does it mean to you to be here? And very generic, no thought behind it. She hates that question, by the way. And it's like, if I would have asked that, any woman would ask that, we would be dragged like, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. And that's the reality. So you really, like you said, like, preparation, that's the biggest thing. That's what I try to do. Because no one can really knock you down if you're over prepared. You can never really be over prepared, right? Just know your stuff. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just being over prepared, knowing I have to do better than this guy sitting next to me if I want the job. that's kind of the reality. That's what I've learned. I've been doing this for a little over 4 years. I don't think it gets easier. You just have to have that confidence within yourself. And, if you believe in yourself, you have that tight knit group that believes in you.
Yeah.
That's really all you need, honestly. And like I said, my biggest thing was trying to compare myself to someone else. Homegirl's dad was in the NFL and she got a job at NFL Network right out of college.
Yeah.
My mom had me at 15 years old, Newark, California, grew up, shared a bunk bed with this lady until I was like 6 years old. I used to.
Y'all damn near like sisters that young. Yeah.
So it's like I had a hard time not comparing myself, but then I had like this epiphany, like, it's gonna make my story that much better. Like, maybe I don't go network till I'm 30, but look, I had nothing to start with. You know what I mean? Nothing was laid out. And I really feel like on the days that I just want to like yesterday, I probably could have just like, you know what, I can't do this, like out there by myself, presser at 3, trying to be on at 4:30, like doing graphics, doing the scripts, like trying to look like I had some sense by the time the lights came on. It's like, I get through those days because it's like, if I make it, as cliche it might sound, literally any woman who looks like me that comes after me can make it because I had nothing to start with. And that's how I look at it.
That's facts. No, you're 100% right. And I agree. It's like confidence within yourself, like that's what matters. And so, yeah, you're 100% right. Also, it's like the competition. And obviously I think sports helped you also being from the Bay Area and living in diverse communities all over. I think that helped kind of develop your mentality. But it's crazy. It's because it's like, we should be competitive in some aspect, right? You're looking at the next person, whether it's boy or girl, but you're looking at the man next to you and you're like, I got to beat him out to get this job. It should be like that. Mm-hmm. But when it's almost like forced in a sense because of you're a woman or because you're a Black woman, right? It's like it even adds more pressure, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've seen the story of where little Susie over there got the job because Bob is friends with the Ryan, right? Like yeah, I mean that happens a lot, especially I went to Colorado College, right, in Colorado Springs. And I played basketball in there for 4 years. I was the only Black kid for about 2 years. I was one of the only Black kids in the school. one of the only Black kids in Colorado Springs. No, but yeah. So I experienced all that, right? And I'm sitting at dinner tables, and that's kind of actually what made me want to start the journey of this and kind of learning, is because I'm sitting at these tables with my teammates and their parents, and they're talking about stocks or real estate or just wealth, right? And they're talking about stuff I've never heard before. And I'm sitting here wondering, like, how are they able to be here? My mom can't fly out from Cali every game, right? Like, and so I just started asking questions, and that's literally all it takes, is just asking questions. And I just started to be curious, and I started to educate myself on, what is this? What is a 401k? What is a Roth RIA? And so that's kind of like what led me to learn about financial literacy, and then be like, damn, I wish I knew this when I was younger. And then now I teach financial literacy. You know what I mean? So
yes.
It's all a circle, and it'll be a circle for you as well.
Yeah, it's all about making it better for the ones after us, really, because just like our parents laid out, they did what they could. Now we got to do better than what they did.
Facts. 100. Cool. Well, we're about to wrap it up. I appreciate it. This has been amazing. Usually I wrap it up with one last segment called the guided conclusions. It's where I ask you a question that we didn't talk about previously to this recording. It could be sad, it could be funny, it could be heartbreaking. It could be anything. Yeah, breaking your heart. All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Today's question is, would you rather lose all of your money you've earned this year or all of the memories? And this year, I'm meaning in 2021 because 2022 just started. So in 2021, all of your money you've earned or all of the memories?
Ooh, who wants to lose all their money? Like what?
But
Yeah,
memories
but
is important though, because if you forget those memories, you might just make the same mistakes.
that's true because listen, 2021 was nothing to play with. It was nothing to play with. That was I would say I would rather lose my money because I got a new job. My
Mhm.
first official sports job, which was 100% sports. That's been my goal for who knows since 2017.
Facts.
So I would hate to forget that. I bought a home or a condo. I bought a condo. So 2021 was messed up, and I was thrown into news for 3 months because nobody was playing sports for a little while. It was a good year, so I would definitely want to say keep my memories. That's important. Money will come back.
Money will come back. You can always make it back, especially with work ethic. So I agree. I agree. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you coming up here, Bree. It's been a pleasure. I won't keep any more of your time. Anything you want to share? Lastly,
Last thing, I just want to say do not give up where you're at and never compare your journey to someone else's. Make your own path, make your own story. Your story will not be my story. Just use it
Mhm.
as a guide, but it will not be your story. Make your own story.
Facts, facts, facts. Cool. You want to drop your Instagram, your TikTok, all that good stuff? Come on, let the people know.
Everything, my Instagram is Briana.MarieTV. I'm always on Instagram posting what games I'm at. Twitter is Bree, Bree, Bree Marie. So yeah, follow me on there. Reach out. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm on all of them. I'm always, people are like, can you help me do this or what can I do that? I'm all about it. It's all about helping each other, lifting each other up. There's enough for everybody to eat at the table. So if I can help in any way, let me know.
Nice, nice. Yep. I fucks with it. Make sure you guys go follow Bree. Give a shout out, like, comment, blow her page up. All right. You heard it here. This is the Misguided Podcast. We're intend to guide you to a better future. My name is Juwan. Again, sitting here with Bree. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe.